What's up, movie lovers? Welcome to the final episode of Ready Play Movies. This is episode 43 and November 2nd, 2021. I'm your host, Louis Menchaca, and joining me today for the last time is Mr. Troy Bracey.
Yes, final episode, man, bittersweet moment or whatever, but shit, this is gonna be fun as always.
Yeah. So let me just go ahead and first start off by saying, please don't unfollow the feed. If you're already following us on iTunes, stay followed because there's always a possibility that we'll come back.
Yeah, for
There's
sure.
either the show will be rebooted or the show will come back for season 2, or I'll start going back to doing solo podcasts again and just do reviews of movies.
Yeah.
I'll just keep the audio feed going. I don't know, but for now, the show is ending. Let's just reminisce. I would say.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the good times. Honestly, one of the things I forgot to do when pulling up the doc for the show is I forgot to I wanted to do a tally of how many episodes did you miss out of 43 episodes.
Yeah. I say probably maybe 7.
I don't know, yeah, but out of 43 episodes, how many did Troy actually make and stuff like that?
And really,
you missed 4 in a row.
I know that's the only thing. That one probably fucked me up because I'll probably say. It was probably 4 altogether, and then with those last 4, it probably end up being 8 or 9 or somewhere around there.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. Is the last time you did the podcast, does it even feel like it's been
It's been a long ass time.
I know it's been a long ass time, but does it feel because your last episode was in September, last week in September?
Yeah.
Does it even feel like it's been a whole month since you've been on here?
Yeah, it do actually. It feel like it's been a long ass time since I've been on here, man. Sheesh. And then it's crazy because this month that I missed, this month has been probably the biggest news month in the whole year.
Yes,
all together.
I had news after news just pile up on me.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
I did a 2-hour podcast by myself.
Yeah,
straight up. And there was a DC fandom,
all kind of shit.
Dune dropped, Venom dropped, and I'm frick, man.
A lot of shit. Yeah, man. It's been crazy. It's been hard.
Alex Baldwin shot someone. And
this. It's been
How did you fucked up?
Yeah, I missed the biggest news news month of probably our whole show career. This whole show career. Fuck. But yeah, it'd be like that. And then I heard there was some bullshit with Marvel, and it's been a lot of shit with Eternals or some shit. I forgot.
There was a lot going
on. Low
score
or some shit.
Yeah, but luckily this is since this is our swan song, this is our final goodbye. We're not actually covering news this week. It's actually I got 5 topics of the show for us to cover, and it's not every topic of the show that I wanted to do actually because. I actually, during your month off, I actually had a laundry list building up
topic of the
show ready to go going into the future.
Hey, and this here can be makeup for all the top of the show Louis done missed over the time. This probably made it up all in one.
I think I missed 5 altogether. I had a dry
spell. So this probably made up for this. Probably right here is gonna make it even.
Yeah. So. I before we get into the topic of the shows here, I actually want to go ahead and do one more segment one last time. I want to do Back to the Future.
Hey.
Marty, you've got to come back with me.
Where?
Back to the future.
Yeah, Back to the Future is the segment where we talk about all the anniversaries that are hitting, and since we're not really gonna be able to do a Back to the Future next month in December, obviously, because we're not gonna be recording the podcast. I'm gonna do November and December. So basically, if you think about it, for the entire podcast life, from January when we started to now, we would have covered all the anniversaries.
The Back to the Futures.
Every single anniversary, from 5 years, 10 years, and 15 and plus, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
For the entire year, so we would have gone over everything. So.
Okay. Yeah.
And here's the thing: this may be the best Back to the Future, bar none. Not only because it's 2 months worth, but it's also the holidays. November has
holidays.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
December has Christmas, and you have blockbuster films come out.
Hey, yeah, and that's pretty good. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I gotta admit something. Back to the Future is my least favorite segment. So I'm glad we're gonna go ahead and knock this out, and then I'm glad it's in this season of holidays and stuff.
Damn. You know what's kind of fucked up? You never told me that.
Yeah, it's
I was
like my least favorite segment of all
really?
of them.
Because I always figured that you were always like, damn, it's been 5 years since Deadpool came out.
Well,
like,
no,
you know,
I mean,
like,
don't get me wrong.
BVS?
I don't
Yeah.
hate it. It's just it's my least favorite. It's like it just it's the least out of like if I'm ranking all the stuff we do and all the how we do it. This is at the bottom, but it ain't like I hate it or anything.
Fair enough. Let's go ahead and pull up the doc here. I got all the segments here. So let's start off with the 5 years. By the way, just letting you know, I actually, from the 30-year mark onward, I edited out movies that I never heard of. So we're not covering everything, but like from like 5 to 25 is everything. And then from like 30 onwards, it's cherry picked.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and start off with 5 years in November 2016.
Ooh,
Doctor Strange
5
1.
years 5 years ago, this was some fire ass months. Shit.
Yeah, we got Doctor Strange, Trolls. The Hacksaw Ridge was directed by Mel Gibson. And,
star of Andrew Garfield.
That's when
that was a masterpiece.
Yeah,
right there.
exactly. We got Arrival, which was
Denis
Denis
Villeneuve.
Villeneuve. Oh.
God damn, that was one of my favorite movies of that year, if not my favorite of that year. It was crazy.
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
I actually liked that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Moana, which was like
that was one of the best.
was,
that animation was a great movie.
I would say culturally, it was on par with Frozen 1, like because it was like the big thing.
Yeah, it was a big thing. I think Frozen was bigger, but it was still a big thing.
I remember like
that.
there was like a controversy where it was like cultural appropriation when somebody wanted to dress up as Moana for.
Oh, it was the beginning
Halloween,
of woke. It was the beginning of the woke shit. Yeah, like 2016 is like the birth of the woke shit.
You can't dress up as Moana. That's cultural appropriation.
Yeah, that was that bullshit.
I remember that one.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah.
Bad Santa 2, which I didn't even know came out in 2016. Like,
Sheesh.
The Edge of 17, which is like some, I don't know, teenage freaking thing. I don't know what it is. Moonlight, which wasn't that the
best
year?
picture winner.
Yeah, wasn't that the year where it's like, oh shit, we wrote.
They called the wrong man. Yeah.
Was it Moonlight? That was
that was the one that won, but they had called. It was the Ryan Gosling movie. It was like the musical. I forgot the name.
La La Land.
La La Land. Yeah, La La. They called La La Land, but Moonlight was supposed to win it.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
We got the Casey Affleck movie, Cape Manchester by the Sea.
Oh man, that was the best performance.
Casey Affleck?
Yeah, Casey Affleck. He won the Oscar that year, and that was probably that was one of the years where you could say he deserved the Oscar. I mean, Manchester by the Sea was a masterpiece.
Still haven't seen it.
Damn, man, that's a masterpiece. You need to check that out. That was.
I did watch Lion though.
A Lion,
starring Dev Patel.
Yeah.
Did you see that one?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I was like, damn, man, that was some crazy ass shit with that little kid. He had to run away from that one guy. I'm like,
I'm trying to think. I think Manchester by the Sea was the first movie I ever seen that was Amazon. I think it was it Amazon? It was one of the. I think it was like Amazon exclusive or something. It was one of the first ones I seen. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right, and then December of 2016, we got La La Land.
Masterpiece.
We got Rouge One, a Star Wars story.
Rouge One. That motherfucking Rouge One. Fuck you, man.
Yeah, Rogue One. It was really cool where they said the Rogue One. Like, we're Rogue One in the movie. I'm like, nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Sing, which you never heard about until Sing 2.
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah. Sing 2 is when I heard.
A Monster Calls.
Oh man, that
Netflix,
movie had me in tears, man.
It's on Netflix, by the way.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That was a good ass movie.
The Will Smith movie that.
Oh, atrocious.
Come on, man. Come on. What are we doing here? Collateral Beauty.
Oh, that was so terrible. But I gotta say, the trailer could have won an Oscar.
The trailer was better than the movie.
The trailer was literally better than the movie, but the movie was terrible.
Assassin's Creed, which was
you passed Passengers.
Oh yeah, Passengers. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Passengers was the Jennifer Lawrence,
Chris Pratt movie. Yeah,
it was
it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good.
And then Assassin's Creed was the time whenever like people were talking about video game movies being good.
Yeah.
Like I remember around this time we had like the Warcraft and like like
that movie sucked. Assassin's Creed sucked.
Yeah,
like a lot of video game movies suck. Video game movies just now starting to kind of do something.
Barely.
They just now,
like, put Detective Pikachu and Sonic.
Detective Pikachu, Sonic. They kind of on a little bit of a roll. You know what I'm saying?
Hopefully the Mario movie's in there too.
The Mario movie, and then what's the name? The one movie starring Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland.
Oh, Uncharted.
Uncharted.
Oh yeah,
that might be.
That's gonna throw that in the ranks right there too.
Yeah. So we gotta see.
We got the James Franco movie, Why Him?
Yeah, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, and finally the Denzel movie,
Fences. That was another great movie, man. Great movie. There's some great movies in this
I
year.
know, right?
God damn. Hacksaw Ridge, Arrival, Moonlight, La La Land, Fences. That was a great year.
Yeah, I know, man. That's why. Oh yeah. Yeah, okay, it's a 2-for-1 combo because not only do you have blockbuster movies like Star Wars, Rogue One and Doctor Strange and stuff,
Yeah.
but you also have Oscar
contenders, yeah.
coming out at this time. So
Manchester
it's
by the Sea, like all these
so
great
basically
movies,
it's just gonna be banger after banger.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
16
like
was a legendary year.
yeah. So next up, we got the 10-year mark. We are now gonna hit November of 2011, which brings us to J. Edgar.
2011?
Yeah, 10 years ago.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, it's 10 years. We did 5.
Yeah,
we did
I'm
10.
tripping. I don't know what the fuck I'm tripping.
Yeah, 10 years ago was
Yeah.
November 2011.
Yep.
J. Edgar. We got the Muppets. A very Harold and Kumar 3D Christmas. Haywire. Immortals, which I saw in the movies actually. The trash Adam Sandler movie Jack and Jill. Happy Feet 2. The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. The Eddie Murphy movie Tower Heist. And then we got Hugo. And finally, the Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 1. This is like the worst.
This is a terrible. Like I gotta say, the J. Edgar Hoover movie was the last bad Leonardo DiCaprio movie. Like,
Damn.
But Leo, that's a long stretch. He haven't made a bad one since this movie. But that movie sucked, and it was directed by Clint Eastwood. Yeah, I don't know why, but oh my God, what a terrible year. We talk about the Muppets. We talk about Jack and Jill. Oh my goodness, what a terrible. But Hugo was a masterpiece. Martin Scorsese. He put out the one year that he didn't work with Leo. Leo put out some trash, and Martin Scorsese put out Hugo, which was a fantastic movie. And the new Batman was in Twilight back then. Yeah. So.
I saw a meme on Facebook. It's like, sorry, it's like, ladies, you had him for a year, for a couple of years, and now it's our time. Like the boys own him now.
For what?
Robert Pattinson.
Oh, for Robert Pattinson. Yeah, for real.
And now, moving on to December of 2011, New Year's Eve, which was like the ensemble movie, like the sequel to Valentine's Day. We got The Sitter. We got The Descendants, which I believe was a George Clooney movie. Tinker Tailor Soldier. Alvin and the Chipmunks, Chipwrecked. Sherlock Holmes, A Game of Shadows, which was the Robert Downey Jr. one. Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. That's banger right there. The Adventures of Tintin. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. We Bought a Zoo, the Steven Spielberg directed War Horse, The Darkest Hour, and the Tom Hanks 9/11 movie Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close.
Yeah, this was another pretty bad, but I did like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. That was a very great movie. I really did like that, and I liked the performance by Gary Oldman. And I
think, wasn't the second Sherlock Holmes better than the first Sherlock Holmes? Because I remember in the second Sherlock Holmes, I think it was the one where he was imagining the fight, like, I'm gonna do this and he's gonna do that.
Yeah. I think I agree with you there.
And then at the end, he was like, fuck it, and he just throws himself off.
I do remember that. Yeah, I think I agree. I think
that was the better one.
And I do think The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is the best movie on this list. Yeah, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo was crazy.
Real talk, I actually like Ghost Protocol out of all of them.
The Ghost Protocol was the biggest hit for sure. I did. Ghost Protocol was very fun.
Simon Pegg joined the franchise. Yeah. And I think that was Ghost Protocol is what set Mission Impossible to that upper stratosphere.
Yeah, because Mission Impossible to me was kind of before that was kind of going downhill, but then that kind of got it back.
And it stayed up there.
Yeah. You know? I'm trying to think, what the fuck is The Darkest Hour? That sounds familiar. What the fuck is that?
The Darkest
Hour. I think it's a good movie because what? That movie just came out though.
Wait a minute. Why is there two posters?
That's why. Because The Darkest Hour, that's a different movie. They just got the same title. So The Darkest Hour is a Gary Oldman movie that just came out 2 years ago.
Okay.
And then this is some other goofy Darkest Hour kind of thing. So yeah, that one's about Dunkirk. That's basically the same as Dunkirk.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're two different movies. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
That's why I never seen this shit. It looks garbage.
This says it says in Moscow, 5 young people lead the charge against an alien race who have attacked Earth via our power supply.
Okay, yeah. See, I never seen
Wasn't
that.
it the one where like the people with electricity that are like shocked or whatever, they turn it like they're invaded or something like that? Body
I
snatchers?
have no clue. I've never heard of this. Only reason that name sounded because I remember the Gary
Gary
Oldman
Oldman.
movie. That was a masterful film. So I was like, and Gary Oldman won his Oscar for The Darkest Hour too. So that's why I was like, what the fuck? Okay, but
It's got Emil Hirsch and Olivia Thirlby, so at least they're famous people. So,
okay.
but yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that's all I got to say about December 2011. I think 2011. Real talk. I'm not gonna lie. It's actually I remember it. Things when I was putting the list together, I remember like damn. But now it's like ugh.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Okay, let's hope that the rest of the list doesn't like look this spotty. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to the 15-year mark, which brings us to November of 2006. We have Flushed Away, The Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause, Borat, Cultural Learnings, and blah, blah, blah. I didn't even put the whole title on there. The Will Ferrell movie, Stranger Than Fiction, A Good Year, The Return, Harsh Times, Babel had its wide release, Happy Feet 1. Wow, actually, Happy Feet 1 and 2 came out 5 years apart. Okay. Casino Royale, which is the beginning of the Bond franchise as we know it.
And we're at the end now.
I know,
Ain't that
right?
crazy? Damn.
15 years have gone by. Let's Go to Prison, The Queen, Deja Vu, which I believe is the Denzel movie, and The Fountain, which is Hugh Jackman. So, yeah, I remember watching Stranger Than Fiction in theaters back in the day when, because I was in like high school at the time, and I went with my high school friends. I remember that one being like I think I might still have the ticket stub for that somewhere.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say about these?
Yeah, I mean, Babel was a masterpiece. I love that.
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt was in it, and Kate Blanchett. It was great. It was the same director for The Revenant and
Alonso? No, it's not. It's not Alonso.
Alejandro G. Inarritu.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Yeah, Alejandro G. Inarritu. He did The Revenant, and then he did what's the Michael Keaton movie called?
All right. Let's...
Birdman. Yeah, he did Birdman, and he did The Revenant. So.
Yeah, you're right. Alejandro.
Yeah, of course I'm right, man. I'm a
Damn.
movie fanatic. Come on now, like you forgot who you talking to, man.
But, yeah.
Yeah, he did The Revenant, and he did, and Babel was one of his first. That was the first movie I ever seen from him when I said, "Oh, okay, this dude is a master." He did that, and I believe he got the Oscar nomination for it as well. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was the director of 21 Grams. Damn.
Yep, and he did 21 Grams. So,
right.
yeah, that stood out to me. Harsh Times, that was a terrible Christian Bale movie. And that movie was directed by the same dude that did Suicide Squad, the first one. David Ayer, yeah. It was pretty damn bad. And then, of course, Casino Royale. I mean, it's still to this day.
It holds up.
It might be my favorite in the whole Bond. This new Bond friend, it's still probably my favorite one out of all of them.
Damn.
Yeah, Casino Royale was a straight up masterpiece, and yeah.
I haven't seen it like since back in the day, so I haven't. It's been a minute. But
Yeah,
like,
I
remember
actually just
remember
watched
that
it
scene,
recently.
I remember that scene where he's like, "I got a scritch. I got an itch between my balls. Can you?"
Yeah.
Can you give me
When
a
he was
scratch?"
getting tortured. Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, that's right. That's a spot." Like, I was like,
He was a
"Fuck."
bad motherfucker, and I mean, a lot of people doubted him as James Bond, and that movie made made him a straight up star.
I remember like there was like, "Oh my god, a blonde Bond? Like what the
Yeah,
fuck?"
people didn't, he felt too rugged, and people was bitching, but yeah, they found out he was the truth. So, yeah.
December of 2006, we got The Nativity Story, Van Wilder 2, The Rise of Taj, Turistas, Unaccompanied Minors, The Holiday, which was like the Jack Black, Jude Law, Cameron Diaz movie. And then there's the Mel Gibson directed Apocalypto. We got, it's not in America, it's Bling Bling, but in Africa, it's Bling Bang.
Yeah.
Blood Diamond, starring Leo.
Yeah.
Charlotte's Web, the franchise that didn't take off, Aragon, the Will Smith, and actually the world was introduced to Jaden Smith, I think, in this movie. The Pursuit of Happiness.
Yep.
We got the Beyonce-led Dreamgirls, which led to Jennifer Hudson winning the Oscar.
Yep.
We got Rocky Balboa, which was Rocky 6. Yeah, that was actually a good one. We got Letters from Iwo Jima. Night at the Museum. I actually have a story about that. I'll get to that in a second. We got We Are Marshals. The Good Shepherd, Black Christmas, the
Children of Men.
Clive Owen led Children of Men, and the Guillermo del Toro Pan's Labyrinth.
Man, this is
Better.
this is the best year on this whole list so far. I mean, this out of all the years we've done so far, this is the best one. First of all, real quick, I gotta say, Deja Vu. If I gotta talk about that, I remember being like disappointed in that movie.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't remember ever being disappointed in a Denzel movie.
Yeah. Well, I'll never be disappointed in a Denzel performance. But there's been a couple out there. I mean, most of his movies are good. He got a great resume, but I remember not liking that one that much. But I mean, this year right here, this month and this year was incredible, man. I mean, you talking Blood Diamond. Leo got an Oscar nomination for that. It was incredible. You know, Pan's Labyrinth was a straight up bona fide masterpiece. You know what I'm saying? Del Toro's one of his best movies to this day. Children of Men was just a fantastic movie. I mean, it's a lot of great. Dream Girls was.
I like The Pursuit of Happiness too.
Pursuit of Happiness maybe still Will Smith's best movie and best performance. You know, if not his best movie, at least probably still his. Maybe that or Ali, but it's one of his best performances. He got the Oscar nomination for that, and I could actually say Jaden Smith was actually good in that movie. And so, yeah, man, this was a great year for movies.
I watched Rocky Balboa in theaters. I also watched Letters from Iwo Jima. I don't think I watched it in theaters.
Oh yeah, Letters from Iwo Jima. That was a great movie too.
That was a good
Jesus
one.
Christ.
Dude, that ending got me.
Yeah, that's one of those. That's one of them heart wrenching ones, and it got the Oscar nomination too.
Yeah. My story for Night at the Museum. So it's the Ben Stiller movie, and I was going to the movie theaters at AMC just to go watch the movie with my mom and dad, just watching the movie. And so again, I was like in high school and stuff. And so when we were walking out of the theater, going down the stairs, my mom goes to the ticket take lady and asks for an application to work at the movie theater.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how I got the job at AMC. She said, that ticket take lady is like, I don't think you should be working here. And she's like, no, not for me, my son. And she's like, oh, okay. And so she wrote her name down on my application, so that way it came with like a reference, so that they put my name at the top of the list. Yeah. And that's how I got the job.
Oh shit, that's crazy. That is crazy. And by the way, what a judgmental thing to think about. Like, you don't know who need a job.
Yeah, I know, right?
But no, that's dope. That's how you end up working at AMC.
So yeah, this application was in December of 2006, and February of 2007 is when I started.
Oh shit, you got on pretty quick.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
Yeah, so 15 years ago, man. Fuck, time goes by. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to the 20-year mark. And at 20 years, we have November of 2011. Whoops, I did the wrong one. There we go. November of 2011, we have Monsters, Inc., the Pixar movie that is like the classic, all-time classic.
Yeah.
We got John Travolta versus Vince Vaughn, Domestic Disturbance. Don't know if you know about that one.
Yeah.
The Jet Li movie, The One. We got Jack Black and Gwyneth Paltrow, Shallow Hal. The very beginning of the Harry Potter franchise, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. We got Spy Game. We got Black Knight starring Martin Lawrence. Owen Wilson, who was the dramatic actor behind Enemy Lines. And that's it. That's it. Fuck. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, just crazy to think. Like 2001, it was so long ago, and I still kind of remember that year. And Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. That's a legendary, really. Like you think about all the movies that came after that over all the decades. It's like, and to this day, they're still making spin-offs of that.
Oh
like,
yeah. And it's like getting the streaming rights for that movie. And then the whole franchise is a big deal.
Big deal, yeah. So that's start of a huge legendary legacy, and I always liked that one, the first one, a lot. So. Yeah, and Black Knight, that shit had me laughing so damn hard back in the day. I mean,
back in the day, we used to be able to sell movies on the stars.
Yeah. Martin Lawrence. Yeah, that's literally like the only reason to watch that movie. Like if you pay attention, that's the only reason to watch that movie. But it was funny as hell. And
didn't he make like freaking them like doing like trumpets and shit?
Yeah, he had them doing like hip hop dancing
in the fucking courtroom. Yeah.
Oh, that shit. It's one of the,
I remember that shit.
It's one of the funniest movies, man. It is so underrated. Like in his resume, like it's fucking hilarious, bro. Like, oh god, it
I'm
was
sorry.
funny as hell.
It's
man.
good to reminisce, but damn, I forgot about that
Yeah,
shit.
that shit was funny. Yeah. So yeah, those are the only two that stood out to me on that one.
Yeah, I remember watching Domestic Disturbance and shit like that. I remember when Vince Vaughn was a serious actor.
Yeah,
This is before
yeah.
he was like the
The comedic
comedic
guy,
stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, that's actually pretty interesting. And we'll go ahead and move on to the next one, December of 2001. We're still at 20 years. 20 years ago, we got Ocean's 11. That's like dope. We got Tom Cruise in Vanilla Sky. And then this is the way I was introduced to Chris Evans. Not another teen movie. Did you know that he was in it?
I did not.
Damn.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did not.
Not another teen movie. It was a funny ass, it was like a parody of She's All That and Bring It On and all these other
shit.
Varsity Blues. They had
Damn.
parodies.
I
of
never
everything.
seen that one. That's crazy.
It was a parody of all these teen movies.
Yeah.
The big Peter Jackson, the start of the trilogy, the epic ass, the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring. Damn, and I can't believe that Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius came out the same weekend as fucking the Lord of the Rings.
God damn, that was a bad month to put that out on.
I know, right?
Shit.
Well, I mean, I think this is how it started. Like they started with Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius in theaters, and then they made a Nickelodeon TV show out of it.
Wow.
But yeah, the Lord of the Rings is still a big deal. I mean, we're talking about like even to this very podcast, we talk about Lord of the Rings on Amazon. You know what I mean?
Them doing the first spin-off show of the movie. Yeah, that's a big deal, man.
There's Joe Somebody, which I believe was a Tim Allen movie, and then there's Method Man and Red Man. How High?
How High? Yeah. That's
It came out in December though.
one of the best stoner movies. Yeah, they was going for the Oscars for that.
Like I would have thinking that they would have put this in like a June.
In the June,
Yeah.
no, I think they put it in like a January, February,
Yeah,
like
even
kind of
that, yeah.
run of them. Yeah, but I don't know.
December, like fuck. Okay, we got How High. We got The Majestic, which isn't that the Jim Carrey movie? I don't even know. I think it might be Jim Carrey doing a serious dramatic role. Russell Crowe, A Beautiful Mind. Speaking of Will Smith, Ali.
Yep.
They came out 5 years apart from Ali and The Pursuit of Happiness. Then there's Kate and Leopold, which I never heard of. And then there was, didn't Charlize Theron win for Monsters Ball?
No,
Oscar?
no, that was Halle Berry.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah.
Okay, I was thinking about the other. Okay, all right.
She won for Monster.
Monster. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, fuck. I fucked that up badly.
Hey, it's all good. That's why you got me here. You know what I'm saying? I'm a movie fanatic. You know what
So
I mean?
yeah, Monsters Ball, which is Halle Berry, and then she won.
Yep,
Yeah, she
yep.
won. Okay. And then there's Black Hawk Down.
Yeah.
Damn. So that was actually a really good movie. That was intense as fuck.
Yeah, Black Hawk Down was good. Monsters Ball was good. Halle Berry was fantastic in that. Ali was a great movie, fantastic. Probably Will Smith's best performance, either that or Pursuit of Happiness, like I was saying. And then Lord of the Ring, Fellowship of the Ring. I mean, the title is a bit redundant, but other than that, man, it's a masterful movie. Like this movie, for a lot of people, it was like the Star Wars for that generation. You know what I mean? Just in terms of big epicness, scope, and being like just being gone into another world, it kind of
World
did
building,
that.
everything.
Yeah, all that. And
Masterful.
It was fun. Yeah, fun movie. And
I don't even know. Like I can't really. I don't even know the answer to which of the three movies is my favorite. Like to tell you the truth.
Of what?
With
The Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings trilogy.
yeah,
they all have something over each other.
Yeah, they're all almost equally as good. Mine, I would say Return of the King, but man, all of them are I wouldn't argue someone if they said either one of the trilogy.
They each have something over each other.
Yeah.
So like for me, like the Two Towers has the best action.
Yeah.
The Fellowship I feel like was the like plot wise. I felt like I think it was good. I think it was best plot wise.
Yeah.
Return of the King was like a balance between plot and action.
Yeah, that's why I felt like that's the best one for me because they just balanced it so well.
Then we'll go ahead and move on to the 25-year mark, and that brings us to 1996. So this is the last full list here. So let's go ahead and move on to it here. We got November 1996. We got Larger Than Life. Then I actually brought this up in a previous podcast. I don't know if you were actually in it or if I was talking to Dallas or someone, but I remember talking about Dear God, which was a movie where he's reading through some mail. I'm not gonna go into it, but Dear God, it's really interesting. Romeo and Juliet, which is the Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Damn, Leo's on this motherfucker a lot.
Well, it's Leo. He gonna be on any decade, any month, or any decade. It's Leo, man.
Yeah.
He's the biggest star in Hollywood.
We got Bad Moon. I don't think I've ever heard of that one. Yeah. Mel Gibson starring in Ransom and versus Gary Sinise, and then like there was the one moment in the movie where it's like, "Give me back my son." That was a good one. There was Jada Pinkett Smith. Is that Set It Off?
Yep, that's
right. Set It Off. We got the original Michael Jordan Space Jam. Didn't know it was a November release. I would have guessed it was a summer release back in the 90s.
The sequel come out 25 years later. Damn, that's the longest sequel ever.
It's 25 years.
God,
the kids that were kids then are grown as fuck.
They had to get a next dude to be the next main guy in that. That's crazy.
Then there's The Mirror Has Two, and then there's Star Trek First Contact. And then there's the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, Jingle All the Way.
Yeah, I like that movie.
That was a Sinbad, and it's got Anakin Skywalker up in that bitch.
Yeah, I actually like that movie. It's like a guilty movie pleasure for me.
Yeah, there was one year like in the 2000s where like they played it for 24 hours straight on Christmas Day.
Oh shit!
On like FX or something like that,
shit.
like
That's
on repeat.
That's crazy.
Then there's 101 Dalmatians, and then there's Billy. Was it Billy Bob? Fuck, what's his name? Billy Bob Thornton? No.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I was like, why does that sound weird? Billy Bob Thornton and Sling Blade.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Sling Blade.
Sling Blade.
He was a cool motherfucker in that. But I mean, this year was like it's crazy because I recognize literally all of these movies. But not a lot of them stand out. You know what I mean? Romeo and Juliet, I remember that to me, it kind of being a letdown.
Really? We still watch it we watched it in high school. Like
the thing that was so crazy is Leo and the girl that plays Julie.
Claire Danes,
yeah. They had great chemistry, but they hated each other in real life. Like they barely didn't want to be on set. They literally. But if you watch the movie, you would think they just got along because their chemistry is so good. It just showed how
good actors.
Good how actors they are. Yeah, like anytime anyone get a chance to read up on how bad they hated each other, it's crazy.
Damn.
And Space Jam is a classic. As bad as that movie is, I
think it holds up.
I think it's a bad movie and it don't hold up. But for me,
I watched it. I watched it on HBO Max.
To me, I think it's still fun though. Like I still enjoy it. It's still like a classic, but it's a bad movie in my opinion. If you really be honest. And Sling Blade, I remember that. Of course, we talked about that. Jingle All the Way. I said I like that movie. It's just fun.
He's like, I was like, you gotta step away, man. This is a homemade explosive device. And he sets it down. Yeah. He's like, it's okay, guys. I've been on the bomb squad for 5 years.
This month is this is the biggest guilty movie pleasure list of all of them.
He's and then you see the explosion in the background. He's like, Sinbad is like, that really was a homemade explosive device.
Yeah.
This is a sick world living with some sick people. And then one of the things that bothers me is I watched a YouTube video essay on Jingle All the Way. Is that the thing that they actually said it and then it just clicks for me? Yeah. Is they call it Jingle All the Way a live action cartoon. Because it was cartoon physics. The way he punched him and the midget goes flying.
It did feel like a live action cartoon when you think about it.
And then when the bomb exploded and they are like black ash on their face. And
that's right out of a Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right out of Bugs Bunny or some shit.
All right, December of 1996, we got Daylight. We got The English Patient. Jerry motherfucking Maguire.
Damn, Jerry Maguire.
Show me the money.
Damn, I forgot about that.
Mars Attacks. The Preacher's Wife, Beavis and Butthead Do America. Okay, I can't even do the laugh. One Fine Day, My Fellow American. The start of the franchise. It's getting a new movie. Scream.
Yeah.
1996, 25 years.
Yeah.
25 years later, and we're talking about Scream 5.
Scream,
yeah. Michael, which was the John Travolta movie, and Madonna starring in Evita.
Yeah.
So... not as hype, but I would say Jerry Maguire was dope. Jonathan Lipnick, he was in it, and he had a whole string of movies after that for the '90s, into the early 2000s, and then I would say Cuba Gooding Jr. was actually pretty dope in that movie too, by the way. But yeah, I would say that just Jerry Maguire and Scream are the only two that really stand out to me. What about you?
Yeah, Scream, man. That's another one of them classics. It's like Scream is a classic, expanded on multiple films and
And a TV show.
And a TV show. Yep, for sure. And actually, the new Scream looks fantastic. So like they're still holding up.
And that's kind of funny is like they're still like doing the Drew Barrymore thing where they kill off a character at the beginning of the movie.
Yep, they still doing that shit. But I think that's like part of tradition at this point. It's
exactly.
It's like Star Wars with the letters. Yeah, you gotta have a scroll. So it's kind of like that.
All right, next up, we got 30 years. We have November of 1991. We have Highlander 2, The Quickening, which I think there can only be one, right? I mean, Highlander is, I think the only good one is the first one. We got Little Man Tate, which has got the wide release. I think I covered it last month, which is starring Jodie Foster. We got Cape Fear, the original, The Addams Family, and the all-time classic, Beauty and the Beast. Fuck, 30 years ago. They made a whole Oscar category because of this movie.
Yeah.
And then the Macaulay Culkin, My Girl.
My Girl, yeah. I mean, this one, only one stands out is the Martin Scorsese movie, Cape Fear. Cape Fear was really fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed Cape Fear. That shit was incredible. Robert De Niro did his thing. He was scary as fuck in that movie. And then, of course, Beauty and the Beast. I mean, I will always remember that movie. Like, that's one of those movies that's timeless. And a lot of nostalgia connected to that movie. It was a true masterpiece.
Yeah, all right.
And the Addams Family, like, I don't know which
Christina
one.
Ricci, right?
Is this the live action?
Yeah, live action.
Okay, yeah.
We got Christina Ricci. We got...
Didn't they just reboot the Addams Family?
I mean, it's a cartoon now.
Yeah, but it's a movie though, right?
It's a movie.
Yeah.
It's an animated movie.
So Addams Family still living on, to this day. You know what I mean?
What's his name? Julia. What's the guy that played the dad in the Addams Family?
I don't even remember. It's been so long. I don't even know who the fuck
he was M. Bison in the Street Fighter movie, and I can't remember Raul Julia or something like that. But he was definitely one of the best M. Bison ever, like straight up.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's neither here nor there. We'll go ahead and move on to December of 1981. We got Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country, the Robin Williams Hook. We got The Last Boy Scout, which was the Last Boy Scout was Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans, I believe.
The Last Boy Scout.
And then Father of the Bride, and then Kevin Costner,
Yeah,
JFK.
I like The Last Boy Scout. Shit was funny. I like the chemistry between Damon Wayans and Bruce Willis. Like, Damon Wayans was funny, and then Bruce Willis was all like tough acting and like being a badass, and it just kind of like it matched or whatever. And the action in that was fucking fun as hell too. So I really did like The Last Boy Scout.
Yeah, so 30 years ago.
And Hook.
Hook.
Hook. I mean, come on.
Classic, man.
Classic. You love the Hook.
All right. 35 years ago, we have, let's see. All right, here we go. We're definitely, again, I'm cherry picking here. 35 years ago, November 1986, we got Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, and Hoosier. Not heard of, I know about Star Trek, obviously. I think that Star Trek IV was with the original Captain Kirk and Spock and everything like that. Right? But Hoosier, I feel like I should know that one, but it's
I don't know either one of those either.
All right, 35 years ago, December 1986, we got The Golden Child. Do you know that one? Really? Oh, no. Motherfucker, fuck you.
Yeah,
all right.
I know that one.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about, we got The Three Amigos. Do you know that one?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
Never
good.
seen it, but I know of it. Yeah.
All right. We got Little Shop of Horrors.
Never heard of it.
I think it's supposed to be a classic, if I'm not mistaken. And then we got Platoon, which I think is, was it Charlie Sheen?
Charlie Sheen.
Yeah. So, anyways, The Golden Child stars Eddie Murphy. I don't know if you know this, but this was during his like 80s Renaissance and stuff. And there was this like Tibetan child that's like supposed to be like this. He's got superpowers.
Oh, I heard of that movie.
He's supposed to protect him.
Yeah. I never seen it, but I know what movie you're talking about.
And he was like, his job to safeguard him and protect him.
And he was wearing like a bunch of that like Muslim looking shit. Yeah.
And then there's like this podium that you have to spin to talk.
Yeah.
And then he does the.
Yeah. That shit was funny. Yeah.
And then Three Amigos. I mean, I watched that growing up as a kid a lot. It's Stephen Martin and like the whole like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was funny as hell. So I think they're awesome. They're great. Next up, we got 40 years ago. 40 years ago puts us in 1981. November 1981, we got Time Bandits starring Sean Connery. And December 1981, we got Taps, starring Tom Cruise.
Never seen either one of them. That's crazy.
Damn, but Taps was like he was like Tom Cruise is like in high school or like very young, and he was like a cadet in like a what do you call it? What is it? Like an ROTC kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Next up, let's go ahead and just bring everything back here, and we got 45 years ago. Carrie.
Oh, of course, Carrie.
1976.
Yeah, that's a classic.
November
Great movie.
November 1976. Carrie and Rocky came out in the same month.
Damn, that's a great ass two movies. Them two legendary movies. Brian De Palma did his thing with Carrie.
You did a review on your YouTube
Carrie,
channel.
Yep. And Rocky, that's one of the great boxing movies ever.
You know, I watched it as an adult, and I don't even know if it was that interesting. To tell you the truth.
Really?
It was very slow, and like the Rocky hit its stride in the second movie, in my opinion.
Well, I still think the first Rocky is the best one from a critic standpoint, from critically. But
Rocky 4, man, fuck you.
Yeah, but Rocky 4, that's when it started being like just Dragon Ball Z, pretty much. For sure.
You know what's kind of funny is like when you watch Creed 1, you can almost kind of feel like it's almost like a remake of Rocky 1.
Yeah, it got a lot of the same similarities.
Yeah.
Like Rocky reminds me of a lot of the Fast and Furious franchise.
Really?
Not like in terms of like it's about the same shit, but over time it just started getting more bigger and bigger to the point where it don't feel like the original Rocky was kind of about like trying to train to be a boxer and all that. And then it got like so crazy, and then the same thing with
By
like
the time Rocky 3, he's fighting Mr. T, and he's a superstar.
Yeah. And then like same with Fast and Furious. It started about just racing, about Street Fighter. Now it's like dudes with superpowers. They go into space and
Black Superman and
Black
shit.
Superman, all this crazy shit. So they kind of similar to that. Nowadays we got Creed and shit going on. So
Yeah, that's true. Then in December of 1976, we got The Pink Panther Strikes Again, King Kong, and A Star Is Born. A Star Is Born has been constantly being remade and remade and remade.
Yeah. King Kong. That's the year of like the traditional King Kong that everybody, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it was King Kongs before that, but it's like the modern day old classic King Kong. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. So next and finally, 50 years ago, this first bit, November 1971. Don't really know it. It's something called Play Misty for Me. It's starring Clint Eastwood. Don't really know about that. But then December of 1971, we got Diamonds Are Forever, Dirty Harry, which is also Clint Eastwood, and Straw Dogs. Don't know that one, but I know those first two.
I know Dirty Harry for sure. You know what I'm saying? Clint Eastwood.
Isn't that the one where he's like, do you feel lucky?
Yeah. You feel lucky. Yeah.
Damn, it's 50 years.
Clint Eastwood, man, got one hell of a career.
Fuck. Diamonds Are Forever was a James Bond movie, by the way. So, yeah. That is it. What did you think of overall?
Oh man, it's a lot of great movies. It's cool to at least the first decade, because you remember actually going to the theaters to see a lot of those movies. Like I went to the theaters to see La La Land and to see Star Wars, Rogue One, and Monster Calls. Just these in the last 10 years when it felt nostalgic to me, and then going on beyond that, it felt great too because it was just a lot of classic movies I seen as I got older. So it was cool.
Yeah. All right. So
that covers the whole year of Back to the Future.
For the whole year. Yeah. The whole year. So yeah, let's we'll go ahead and move on to some impressions. I only have one impression listed here. We're going to talk about Dune because I know you want to talk about Dune.
Yep.
It's the only thing that's going to be dated as far as this is an evergreen episode, but let's do a little bit of time stuff, like timely, topical stuff.
I mean, it's not going to be dated because Dune is going to live. Dune is going to be one of them classic movies, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we have a topic of the show coming up later on that's going to talk about something called form versus content. We'll get into that later. But not without context, I would say this is a master of both.
Yeah.
So I think that this was a very well paced, very well directed, very well shot movie that and I watched it in IMAX, by the way, and it was so worth it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched how you watched it, but like IMAX.
I watched XD, so basically
okay.
IMAX,
Yeah. So it's got like extra frame, like the black bar on certain scenes, but whenever it's action, it just expands to take up the whole screen, and I'm like, fuck, it's so good.
Yeah, shit's beautiful.
So yeah, what did you think of Dune?
I loved it, man. I personally loved it, and I actually, I'm one of these people that I had no clue about Dune. I didn't know nothing about the lore, none of the books, the old movies. So this was all fresh to me, and I think the movie was incredible, man. It trips me out how much Star Wars took from Dune because originally, as I'm watching it, like I thought Dune was taken from Star Wars. I'm like, damn, this is a lot of shit that remind me of Star. Like it's dope, but it's kind of still. Then after the movie, I did my research and found out this came out before Star Wars. So I'm like, well, actually, it's the opposite. Star Wars took a lot from Dune. Yeah. But it was really good. Great acting. I mean, the actors they had in this movie was perfect. You know, it's like they brought all of the actors from Marvel, DC, Star Wars. Like you had everybody like just all for this movie.
There's only one caveat I'll give you to that is it felt like Jason Momoa is playing Jason Momoa. It's the only thing. But even then it was good. But
I like that because one of my complaints that I did have like for the movie, even though I loved it, I felt like it was a masterful movie. One of the complaints is I did feel like a lot of the performances were wooden. Like it didn't like everybody just kind of felt robotic to a certain degree. Like it wasn't a lot of personality and a lot of lot of charisma. It was like everybody, yes, do this or move or whatever. So Jason Momoa was the only one of the guys that was like, fuck all that, what up, bro? Like, you know what I mean? So I actually felt like he brought levity to it when it needed it. So I actually liked Jason Momoa in this. Yeah. But man, overall, it was just the action was done so good. I'm not even bullshitting you. This is going to be a big thing I'm saying, but I fully agree with this. This is the best CGI of all time. Like, the best CGI of all time is going to guarantee win at the Oscars. Like, it literally looks real. Like, it's at the point, because I'm one of the guys where even good CGI, you could just still tell it's CGI. It's like, oh, this is good, but it's CGI. When you're watching something and you literally can't even tell if it's CGI or not, and again, I seen it on the big screen. Who knows if I watch it on TV, maybe I can start noticing shit a little better, but I'm talking, this shit looked it so real. The stuff that I knew was CGI looked it like it wasn't CGI. So this is the best CGI in cinema history. And everything, it really was immersive. Like, I felt like I was far away, to use a Star Wars term. I felt like I was nothing felt like it was on Earth or anything. Yes. So, man, overall, I loved the movie. Like, I really did. It lived up. And to be honest, it's crazy because I don't know if you noticed this, but I rarely talked about Dune on this whole podcast because while I was interested in Dune, I wasn't excited about Dune like a lot of people were. Like, I'm just like, because again, I don't know nothing about the lore. And so I'm like, Denis Villeneuve is one of the best directors working. So that alone intrigued me. But I wasn't looking at Dune like, oh my God, I can't wait. It really kind of hit and blindsided me on how much I really enjoyed that. This is like, I think this got the potential to be the new era of Star Wars. Like, if the movies continue on and continue to be great, this could be the new era of Star Wars and like, Lord of the Rings and like the big blockbuster movie everybody excited to see.
The good news is that there's green light for the sequel. So glad that happened.
Yeah, for sure.
But apparently he wants to make a trilogy. I was hoping that it was going to be like a two movie thing, but
Yeah, I think it's gonna be part 1 and part 2, and then I think the second one is gonna be like what the sequel would have been, because I think 1 and 2 was probably originally wanted to be one movie, but it was just too big to be one movie. So it's they kind of pulling like a Hobbit thing, So I think 1 and 2 was meant to be one movie, but it's broken into 2. And then I think the third one would have been the sequel to that if it was just one movie, So that's what it's gonna make it like a trilogy. But I actually wouldn't mind it being a trilogy because it's like this feel like how I felt like Force Awakens could have been. Like it's starting a story that's gonna be coherent and flow together and make a dope ass trilogy. It don't feel like it's just starting something, and then by the time you get to the third one, all three of them don't feel like they had shit to do with each other. You know what I mean? This feels like it's gonna flow and be like one big badass story like Lord of the Rings. So it's off to a good start so far.
And I want to say one. I think I said it last week on the podcast, but I'll say it again. This is like a very awesome way of building tension. This movie had me really engrossed and very. What do you call it? I was so invested in these characters, and I was actually like scared for their lives. Like, oh my God, shit's fucking gonna go. But yeah, so it was really good at paying off all the tension and everything.
I mean, it tripped me out because they had an emperor like Star Wars. They had
Desert planet.
the desert planet. They had the Jedi mind trick. Like they had so much shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was so much shit where I was like, damn. Like looking back, I was like, Lucas was really inspired by this shit, and I wasn't.
Yeah. All right. So with that being said, we're pretty much now down to brass tacks. We have nothing but topics of the show to do, and I'm not going to play the sound effect because fuck that. Topics of the show to cover, and so the first topic of the show, Troy, at the beginning of the summer, we did a predictions of every of where we thought the highest grossing movies of the summer were going to be. All right, so here, I'm going to tell you this right now. You fucked up during your prediction, right?
Yeah.
You had 10 movies to pick from.
And my shit was all out of the summer.
Yeah, you had 7 movies that were actually eligible.
Yeah.
You hot swapped in an 8th movie, so you actually have 8 movies in your picks, in your top 10.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and read you my selection here. I put Black Widow was going to be the highest grossing movie of the summer, followed by F9, then The Suicide Squad, then A Quiet Place 2, then Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins, and then we have Space Jam 2, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, Free Guy, Hotel Transylvania, and Jungle Cruise. Now, Hotel Transylvania got sold by Sony to Amazon, so it never actually came out.
Yeah.
And it's coming out in January, so I got fucked there.
Yeah.
So there's that. Now, Troy, you put No Way Home as your number 1 pick. That's a December movie. Even at the time when we were recording it, it's still a December movie.
Yep.
We got Shang-Chi at number 2. We got Venom 2 at number 3, which is an October movie, which at the time when you recorded, it was a September movie. So it wasn't even eligible.
Yeah.
So that's 2 strikes right there.
Yeah.
Then you got Snake Eyes. Then you got Suicide Squad at number 5. F9 at number 6. Black Widow at number 7. You did not have any faith in Black Widow. A Quiet Place Part 2 in number 8. Space Jam 2 at number 9. And then you hot swapped the Forever Purge at number 10. So you first originally said Luca. But I told you Luca's a Disney Plus exclusive. It's not coming to theaters. And you're like, okay, the Forever Purge is what you did.
My shit was all, man. Because this year was a weird year, man. Because all these I felt like were summer movies. So I fucked up.
So now.
But I still beat yours, even with mine fucked up.
Yeah, well, that's insane. I was going to say, who won? Okay, I explained the rules to you. So I'm going to re-explain it here. So 1 point for getting the movie on the top 10. So, we both said Black Widow. Yeah. Black Widow did end up in the top 10.
Yeah.
So we both got 1 point for Black Widow.
Yeah.
So a point for the movies in the top 10, and then a point for the placement.
But how do you do that? If it's on the right place.
Yes, if it's on
if
it's on the right place. So for instance, I'm going to give away one of my points. A Quiet Place 2 ended up at number 4 in the final list. So I got a point.
Oh,
for
damn! Ooh, that was nice.
I got a point for that one.
Yeah, that was nice.
So. All right, here's the results. So now we know our predictions. So here's where the final results came in. So I'm going to go ahead and let you know that Godzilla vs. Kong was a March movie, so that doesn't count. So I'm going to read you the list as it's supposed to be. We got Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings at number 1.
All right, what I had that at number 1.
Well,
I had it at number 2.
Yeah, technically I'm going to bump it up to number 1. I actually
what
gave
I have at 1.
No Way Home. So if you scratch out No Way Home and bump up Shang-Chi to number 1, then you got the point on that one.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and by the way, the only reason why I didn't put Shang-Chi is because I counted Labor Day weekend as a September movie, which means that I didn't make it eligible for my list. So
why would you count Labor Day weekend as a September movie?
It's because it came out September 3rd.
Oh yeah.
Which means
but it was.
I counted in my definition of summer. It's May to August.
Yeah.
So. For me, I didn't count Shang-Chi as a summer movie. I counted it as a fall movie. And so what happened with you is I made an exception. It's like, okay, when we did the prediction, I said...
Yeah, but that's the weekend. That's like the weekend of after summer. Yeah. So it's like, because, really movies come out on like a Thursday and then like Thursday through Sunday. And it's like a long-ass weekend. So that to me, that's like
September
if
3rd?
you hit the finish line you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So September 3rd was a Friday. It came out on September 3rd, and whatever. I said, okay, for your list, I'll give you Shang-Chi. For my list, I'm not going to put Shang-Chi. So that's that's how I did it.
I'll take that.
So
point.
you get point. You get the point.
Get that point.
So you get the point for Shang-Chi at number 1. Black Widow, which was my number one actually, which I didn't
Well,
get.
so I get 2 points then, right?
Why?
For product placement
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
So getting Shang-Chi.
Yes.
So that's 2
That's
points.
2 points,
Hey, okay.
Yeah. So we got Black Widow at number 2 at 183, and then F9, The Fast Saga at number 3 at 173. A Quiet Place Part 2 at 160.
Wait, did I have the Fast Saga in my shit?
Let's take a look.
Damn.
You have it at number 6. Yes.
Oh, okay,
So you
bet.
get a point. You get a point for
So
F9.
so far I got what? 5 points.
I'll actually have the results already tallied up already.
Okay.
So
I still got to count to make sure you
Okay.
ain't fucking me over. You know what I'm saying?
we got Fast 9 at number 4. Number 3. A Quiet Place at number 4. Free Guy came in at number 5.
Damn.
Jungle Cruise came in at number 6.
Damn.
Cruella came in at number 7. Space Jam: A New Legacy at number 8. The Conjuring: The Devil Made Me Do It at number 9, and at number 10, Candyman.
Oh, I definitely lost. I think I only got 4. I think I only got 4 points.
So I have the points here. So you have, let's see, you have a total of five of your picks here landed.
Okay.
You have, I gave you 1 point, so I put 0 to 10 here, but I gave you 1 point for Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi, so I got 6.
So I got 6. I gave you 6 points.
Hey, 6. Let's go.
You got 6 points.
That's hard to beat.
All right, so my score, I have
Shit.
8 points.
Damn.
I have 7 picks correct, a 7 out of 10. I got 1 placement right, which was A Quiet Place Part 2.
Fuck. Damn, they beat me by 2 points. God damn it. If I would have got my summers right, I probably could have won.
Yeah, you probably could have.
Fuck. Yeah. It was close, though.
It was close, yeah. So I won the prediction game on that one. And next topic here, that was topic number 1. Topic number 2, we are going to go over our predictions. So at the beginning of the year, we, on January, towards I think it was episode 2,
Yeah.
we did, or 3, or episode 3, whatever. We did a predictions of, here's the news that we're going to cover in 2021.
Yeah.
All right? So who do you think outdid each other in the predictions game?
Me. Yeah, me.
Shit, I always win these games. What you talking about? All right. So predictions-wise, I predicted F9 will be the highest grossing movie. Now, I'm going to give myself half a point on this one because here's the thing. It is it came in at what, number 3 on the summer list, and this is the U.S. North American box office. However, it is the highest grossing American movie worldwide for the countries because it played in China. Black Widow did not. Shang-Chi did not. So it missed out on the Chinese box office. Because of that, F9 made $700 million worldwide.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give myself half a point because I think when I made this prediction, I think I was talking about the U.S. box office.
Yeah, for sure.
So 0.5. Okay, next prediction I made. AT&T and Warner Brothers will announce that the dual release is here to stay. That did not happen. As a matter of fact, AT&T sold Warner Brothers to Discovery, which means that they're not gonna do HBO Max releases anymore.
Yep.
So wrong. No Time to Die will be delayed to 2022. It came out in October. Wrong. The Oscars are canceled. Wrong. Disney Plus will hit 150 million subscribers before the end of the year. Now, I'm going to give myself half a point on this one.
What it?
Because they're at 116 million.
Oh, hell no, you don't get half a point for that. Hell no. You off 40 million. You off 30-some million. Fuck no. You get half a point for that.
That's pretty good.
Bro, you trying to give yourself pity points now. I give that half a point. You trying to make up for it, so give me 1 point.
All right. 0.25.
All right, we'll give you 0.25.
All right, 0.75 points for Lewis.
Bet. Because you only got half a point, so you got that.
There we go. All right, so Troy, your predictions is Godzilla vs. Kong will be the biggest movie of the year.
Damn, yeah, that was awesome. Yeah.
I think No Way Home is going to be the biggest movie of the year, to tell you the truth. Dune will not release on HBO Max the same day as its theatrical release.
Damn, I thought they would change that.
Now, what's kind of funny is not only were you not true, is Dune came out 24 hours early.
Yeah.
Just to add
so it
insult
made
to
it worse.
I'm going to deduct a point from you.
Yeah, that's some hoe ass shit.
Deduct a point from you. You're -1. I'm just kidding.
Nah, that's some hoe ass shit they did too.
No Time to Die will be delayed to 2022. We both had the same prediction. Black Widow will be the first bad Marvel movie in a long time.
Damn, I should have just said Eternals. Fuck. Damn, I would have got that right if it was Eternals shit.
It's lower, is critically lower than Thor 2. So yeah, you're right. Eternals. Who would have known? Eternals.
I get half a point for that.
Eternals was like the one that everyone's talking about. Oscar. You know,
yeah.
Movie of the year.
And then it's ended up being the worst one. Yeah.
Next up, Marvel will announce something big this year. Damn. What kind of hoe-ass prediction is that? Not only did I'm gonna give you that one wrong because there was no like D23 like Blitz.
They didn't announce anything.
They didn't like show a Wolverine or Blade or nothing.
Nah, they didn't announce nothing. So I got a 0. Fuck! I still lost it. God damn! How the fuck I lose and you got half a point and I still fucking lost? God damn, man. I almost won. If I would have said Eternals instead of...
You would have got 1 point, yeah.
I think at the time, I didn't even know Eternals was coming out, I don't think, at that time. Fuck.
All right. Let's see. What was that? Topic number 2? All right. So we're going to move on to topic number 3. Topic number 3, at the beginning of, I think, it was definitely episode 2, we did our most anticipated list of 2021. We each came to the table with 5 things that we're the most excited for. Yeah. So we're gonna look at what we're most excited for and do a post-mortem on did it live up to the hype? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so I put Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
This nigga put a damn show at the first one. Black Widow after.
Black Widow, F9, A Quiet Place Part 2, and Matrix 4.
Which we haven't seen yet.
Matrix 4 did good. The trailer was good. Yeah. Okay, that's all we can do. Yeah. But A Quiet Place Part 2 lived up to the hype. I thought it was a really excellent movie.
It did. That one definitely lived up. Yeah.
F9 was a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Okay,
that shit didn't live up for me.
For me, real talk, it was a disappointment but I'm still a Fast fan, so I let certain things slide.
Yeah.
But on the scale between Fast 5 and Too Fast, Too Furious, this leans towards Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yeah, for sure.
Black Widow was all right.
It was all right.
It was all right.
Yeah. It wasn't you got it number 2, but if it was number 5, then I'd be like, all right, bet.
It was all right. So Falcon and the Winter Soldier, in hindsight, between Loki and WandaVision, I would actually between the 3, I would rank it at 3rd place, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, me too. I got it right there.
So I think
I got it between 2nd and 3rd, one of them.
I think WandaVision at number 1.
WandaVision 1, clearly.
So I gave some honorable mentions, which you didn't do on your list, but I gave honorable mentions to Spider-Man: No Way Home, Mission Impossible 7, which got delayed to next year, Morbius, which got delayed to next year, Space Jam 2 was trash, James Bond I haven't seen yet, Top Gun 2 got delayed to next year, and Venom 2 was aight.
Well, damn, that's good that these was honorable mentions because most of these we ain't even get to see yet. We still haven't seen Spider-Man, Morbius, all this shit.
Yeah, so
did Morbius got delayed?
Yeah, it's next year. Yeah. But at the time when we made this list in January, these were 2021 lists.
They just moved back.
Yeah, these were not delayed officially at the time.
James Bond should have been on. Are you smoking? You got James Bond as an honorable mention? But you tripping. You better get Fast 9 out of there for James Bond.
You know what?
So you like the Fast and Furious franchise over Bond?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I would have the only one in hindsight that I would scratch out is Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I would put Spider-Man: No Way Home, and that's it. That should have been my list.
Oh my God.
That should have been
disrespectful, man. What a disrespectful James Bond, the legendary James Bond, over this Fast and garbage? Bro. Listen, I'll maybe let that pass if this was Fast 5. If it stopped at 5. But you saying you still picking after 7, 8, and 9, and you're putting that over Bond? Oh man, bro. You tripping.
Remember, the last movie that we saw at the time was The Fate of the Furious.
And that shit was whack.
All right, let's take a look at your list. Now, you pulled another host shit on your list here, where you know how you said, all right, give me 10 summer movies, right? Yeah. And you come with fall and December movies and shit like that. All right, you had 5 shit to pick from. 5 2021 things, just 5.
Yeah.
You came with 4. All right, all right. You picked a 2022 movie as your most anticipated movie on your list.
Was it pushed back at the time?
No, at the time I called you out. Even at the time when we were recording, I'm like, that was delayed, right? And you're like, oh shit, fuck.
Yeah, see it like delays shouldn't count.
No,
like
it was delayed even before we recorded. Like it was old news even at the time. It was old news, and I'm like, motherfucker. All right, here we go. Your list. You got Loki at number 1.
Yeah.
You have 2 number 1s. You put Loki at number 1, then Dune.
How's that number 1 too?
Yeah, okay. You were like, I'm gonna go in order. I went back and listened, by the way. You were like, I'm gonna go in order. I'm gonna put at my top of my list. I'm putting Loki. Is what you you did.
Yeah.
Then you put Dune. Then you put the James Gunn, the Suicide Squad. Yeah. Then you got Spiral from the Book of Saw. Yeah, come on.
I don't know what the.
and then you were like, okay, now this is my real number 1, and you're like, the Batman, the Batman. It was on, and I told you it was already dated on March 2022 when the list was made.
Hey, shit, I love Batman so much, I had to put that shit in there.
You love Batman so much, you put it as your most anticipated 2021 movie. And the only thing we got was a trailer. At DC Fandom.
I'm like, fuck that. I need that at number 1, no matter what. But I ain't gonna lie, I will say this. All mine, I did a good job with, except Spiral.
Fuck yeah,
Spiral. But Dune,
like, I would say F9 is better than Spiral, is what I would say. And I haven't even seen Spiral, shit.
Nah, hell nah. Like Spiral, nah, hell
You
nah.
didn't even give it good impressions when we covered it. Like,
but I mean, listen, even a bad movie is gonna be better than any of the fast movies. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, hell nah. And if you watch my review, I actually gave some good love to Spiral. It wasn't just a good movie. I didn't give it a good, you know what I'm saying? But it had some alright stuff in it. Did it live up? Probably not. But it's at the bottom of my list.
Yeah.
The Suicide Squad, absolutely
good.
Best. I still got that as the best comic book movie of the year.
Didn't even crack the top 10 at the box office, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. No, yeah, it flopped because it's a damn HBO. What's her name? Yeah. But the Suicide Squad still the best comic book movie of this year. Dune, I just talked about how much I love that. You know what I'm saying? Loki was a bit of a disappointment. You know, and that's disappointing because the first 2 episodes had me thinking that this is going to actually be the best series out of them all. And then it just went,
Yep.
So that ended up actually being disappointment. But Dune and the Suicide Squad is the 2 that I'm very proud of to this day. For sure.
Yeah, I think if The Matrix 4 lands for me, I would say I had 2 good solid picks with A Quiet Place and Matrix. So
yeah,
but yeah, I just think it's kind of funny. Like in January, like this is our most anticipated, and like
we Batman.
Like there were some fuck ups on this one. So
yeah.
All right, next up we have the topic number 4. We have a YouTube video here. I'm gonna mute it, and hopefully I don't get copyright strike.
By advertising on YouTube.
You probably shouldn't even play it because we already we already know the video. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not gonna play. I'm not gonna like play the actual video for us to watch. I'm playing the video for the viewers can see what we're talking about. But basically, it's just a video dissecting what makes a good film. All right, so there's elements to making a film, and this video essay boils it down to 2 categories: form and content.
Yeah.
Form is how you present it. So it can be your editing, your cinematography, your lighting, directing, all that stuff. Content is the actual like stuff that the movie is about, like your plot, your acting, your story, all that stuff. So basically, number 1, like I wanted to get your take on this video as far as like, number 1, do you agree with these kind of definitions, and 2, like what did you personally like to value more?
I definitely disagree. I mean, I definitely agree with everything in the video. Like it's broken down perfectly. You know what I mean? Like literally how.
Perfect examples too, by the way.
Yeah, perfect examples. It's broken down perfectly. It's exactly how I think movies are made. You got certain filmmakers that go for more of like visual storytelling, and you know. And you got certain directors that go for more of the characters, the heart of the story, and tell their stories like that, and that aren't so technical. So you definitely, that is definitely a great way to divide, you know, the type of movies They are, and it's been masterpieces on both ends. Like he was saying, more modern though. Like he was talking about classics,
Like,
but more modern day, like Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk. That's gonna go under form. You know,
Yeah.
it's not. There's barely any dialogue. There's really
1918.
not. You know, in 1918,
That's form.
That's more of a form. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? So those are two like war movies that are completely different, but both of them are masterpieces. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So, you know, it definitely, you know, you could go either way with it, and this was a great video for sure.
I would say like Marvel movies tend to be more content oriented. If you think about it, like they're not going to be like these cool swooping shots or whatever like that. Like,
I disagree.
you think so?
Yeah, I think it's more. I think they're more form because it's kind of similar to one of the reasons why, and I don't fully agree with Martin Scorsese on this, but it's the reason why you remember that whole fiasco of Martin Scorsese saying
it's not film.
it's not cinema
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah, exactly.
Partially why he says that is because it's so much, you know, it's like a lot of the Marvel movies and a lot of action movies in general, DC, anything, Bond, anything. It's like a lot of the movies just leading up for action. Like everything is just to get to action. Like, oh, you know, boom, 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 just to get to action. All right, do, just to get to action. Do. That's more of form than content. You know, even though they'll have those moments. You know, like form movies that are under the quote unquote form umbrella, they'll have content moments. Yeah. But content is where it's like the Joker. You know what I mean? Where it's even though that's beautifully shot and stuff, it's about the character. It's like it's about the story, the character. That's what's going on.
Everything's centered around his performance.
It's centered around his
performance, yeah.
Right. Whereas in Marvel, if you get like watch an Ant-Man or something or Doctor Strange or whatever, it's like it's mostly about like now there are some Marvel movies like Iron Man that's gonna go under content.
The reason why I would say content is because like when you think about like why you watch a Marvel movie, you're watching it for like. You don't necessarily watch like, okay, let's just say I'm not interested in Captain Marvel, but I have to watch Captain Marvel because I need to know what's going on in the bigger picture. Yeah, so but I think that's why I think content. It's like it's selling the bigger overall bigger.
Yeah, arc. But that's not how movies go though. Like a person should be able to watch. Like if I jump in, I've never watched any Marvel, and I just watch Captain Marvel. Right? I don't know nothing about none of that, so you can't really treat that as one. Like a lot of people try to make them Marvel movies like it's an episodic thing. Yeah, and it really is. But the thing is, you gotta judge movie individually. Like movies are a movie, you know, and if it kind of connects, then cool. But like you got a lot of people. The vast majority of the people in the world don't watch all of the Marvel movies like us nerds do that watch them one at a time. But like most of them might skip 2 or 3 and then watch Black Panther. Skip a couple of them and then watch so-and-so. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I don't consider that. You know, I judge movies individually as if that was only the only movie. You know what I mean? And if you do that, like you watch something like Shang-Chi, it's just action, dope ass shit, fighting and all that action. But the actual heart and the characters of it is just kind of like, you know, it's like a side little thing. You know what I mean? And that's why to me the Marvel movies. To me, is more form than content. You know, and same as like Dunkirk and a lot of other movies. You know.
So then my next question is well, I think there was towards the end, he gives us like a point about the reason why critics tend to like form better is because critics tend to watch a lot of movies in mass, like so much, so that the only thing that stands out is the form. The form is what sets it apart because it's something new. You don't see certain things like for instance like Memento. That's form.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Like so that when you see it for the first time, it's brand new. Blair Witch Project, it's new because like no one did found footage before that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like those are like the hallmarks of like, you know, greatest of all times tend to be more form because they're innovative, you know. I mean,
I disagree. I agree and disagree. Well, I agree is it's easier for something to be revolutionary in its form, when it's a form factor, because it's like found footage movies. Remember that little era of like the found footage movies?
Everybody did Chronicle and
right. So it's easier to recognize when something's revolutionary when it's form, right? Because it's the more of the visual. You know what I mean? Like if I come out with a new camera that's called IMAX, you know, you see that, oh shit, I can get a better view of this. You see what I'm saying? Whereas content, You know, like if you do something new with a character that's never been done, it's just like, oh, this is a new character study. You know, we've seen character studies, but it might be a character that's never been put on screen before. That's revolutionary, but it's harder to. You remember the Star Warses of the world because of how grand it was when it first happened. That's form. You know, you remember some of these. You know, you remember Raiders of the Lost Ark.
You remember the Matrix because of the
Matrix and the curving the screen. Yeah, like so it stands out more. You know, but where I disagree with that is that I feel like, you know, while yes, you there's more recognizable, I feel like form is more, you know, you see the greatness and a lot of content. Sorry, yeah, content. You know, I think you get to see actually more, you know, new revolutionary shit. But it's just
content is going to be what helps you attach to someone.
Get attached,
guess,
right?
Yeah. So I just think that it's an interesting perspective. Like it just sort of, you know, as I was watching movies and stuff before this podcast, you know, I think I valued content more because like I was not really like about the artsy fartsy like, you know, framing of shots and all that stuff like that. I was all about like, content, right? Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump, I think was like, you know, shot well, but it's not shot masterfully. It's shot pretty straightforward. You know, you're seeing the world through his eyes and you're experiencing life through him. Yeah. So that's content right there. Yeah. So like that's what I was trying to say is like obviously he makes the point at the end where you great movies are going to master both. You don't have to choose between one or the other. Yeah. But like I said, I'm just saying like in my opinion like the when it comes to content like those are going to be your trendsetters. Like nobody liked that shitty horror movie that was like on a webcam and shot on Skype. That's form and that was new. Yeah. But content they made searching and they used that and made it better.
Made a masterpiece.
So it combined the two. So that's what I'm saying. Like so yeah, I just wanted to say like overall like I think as of right now I think I value content more. I don't know, but what about you?
Well, I definitely value content more because I think about it like this: like if you could take the greatest directors, right? Spielberg, Nolan, the greatest directors of all time, right? And you get a second grader to write the movie script. As good as they are as directors, I don't believe they can make that movie good. If you get a first grader to write a movie script, right? In their little second grade, first grade mind of whatever, you know, that may entail. That script, regardless, I mean, at the age, no disrespect to a young kid, but at the age it might be good. But for me to go make a Hollywood movie with a first grade script, I don't think the best directors in the world can make that a good movie with form. Just using their great framing, using the best editing they possibly can. With a terrible script, I don't think you can make a good movie out of a terrible script. But I do feel like you can do the opposite. If you got a great script, just one of the greatest well-written scripts ever, and you get me that's never directed a movie, or you, if we can do the very basest things with this great script, we can make that, it could possibly be a good movie. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so that's why I feel content matters over form. Now, I think they both have equal value, but if I had to choose, that's why I would lean towards content, because content, you could write a good story, and if anything, you could do the most plain shit, but as long as the story can be told.
If the story is told well enough, then it's intact.
It'll work, right? But if I could be the world-class visual master director with the worst content story, it's just, I don't think it'll be good. So I personally value content over form, but I think, again, there's multiple form movies that are quote unquote amazing. But again, like you said, the best movies have both.
Yes, agreed. So I just thought that was a very interesting thought experiment. I wanted this to talk about this topic because, I like doing these dissections. But number two, I just feel like this podcast needs to cover, how we watch movies. Like, I think that's one thing that we were talking about is we have a different, and this is sort of like an evolution that I've been noticing for me personally. I don't know about you, but for me personally, I've been noticing an evolution about how when we do impressions week to week, I think I'm getting better at like expressing my thoughts or like giving reviews, because one of the things that I noticed about myself, especially like before this podcast even started, is like I was the worst reviewer. Like I just couldn't explain why I liked something or why I didn't like something.
Yeah.
I felt like I didn't really have a good like measure as to what it was that what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And I think that the more we just sort of talk about it, the more I just sort of like finally started to realize, you know, where are my shortcomings? Like for instance, one of my biggest flaws in when I watch movies is like I grade how I watch a movie a lot. Like movie nights, going to the movie theater, like the experience. So like the Suicide Squad was ruined for me because of how my bad experience of watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And
you
like,
never should do that.
And it does not affect the movie. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm telling you, like just in general, like there's like it's like a situation where like when I see like this video essay, it's sort of, you know, it paints in my mind, you know, how I watch movies. Yeah. And I don't know. I figured you would have valued form better, because I always talk about it's a masterpiece. It's well shot. It's the cinematography. I see you talk about these things when you do impressions. I figured that you would have valued that a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I value them equally, but how I look at it is like, which one could I just like if I was with a gun to my head, I'd choose content over, because I think the content comes with more of the emotion, more of the heart, more of the character, which I think is more important than the flashy, you know, framing and all that. But I think form is just as important. And I also do agree, because I agree that the way you analyze movies has gotten better over time. Yeah. Because when we first started, you know, your main thing was like, we're not doing reviews. This ain't review. We're just, you know, and then now it's like you're doing literally a review every time you do a impression. It's like you do basically, you could literally cut that out and put that in a video. So like, that's how long you talk about it. So that goes to show that you've kind of like came certain ways and like kind of learned how to watch a movie and analyze why you liked it or disliked it, because, you know, you got more comfortable with doing it. So I definitely agree with that. Yeah, for sure. But form to me is just as important though, because like you said, I pay attention to everything. I pay attention to the framing, the color, you know, the way the music is used, the way the musical score is used. You know, I pay attention to all of that, you know what I mean? And I think all of that is important for sure, absolutely. But, you know, if I had to choose, it would be content.
Yeah, plus I think with content, it stands on its own.
Yeah.
It is. In a vacuum, you can just sort of like recite the plot of a movie and you can sort of feel it by talking about what happened.
For sure.
Yeah, you're right. I agree. Like I said, I like this discussion, and it was like an interesting like eye opener for me. Like
good discussion.
For me, like when I watched the video for the first time, I was just a part of me felt like I was unlocking like a third eye or something like that.
Yeah. It was good discussion, good video too.
Yeah, so I figured you'd get a kick out of that. So the final topic of discussion here, I think this is topic number 5. I'm going to put you on the spot, and I had no preparation for this either. I had it at a bullet point. I put no thought into it. I want to just sort of go off the dome or whatever. Yeah. And what is the best movies of all time? We've never covered that topic at all in this entire life of the podcast. Yeah. And we were going to do a banked episode where we talked about ranking our best movies of the decades. Yeah. By decades, I wanted us to get around to it. We never did. But I just sort of want to like, you know, give you like see what you think. What comes to mind when I say GOAT? You know, what's the best?
The best movies of all time, man. That's a tough one. For me, I definitely gotta say, you know, like The Godfather. You know, The Godfather Part 2 is actually to me better than 1, but 1 is also all-time great. Citizen Kane, The Shawshank Redemption.
Oh yeah, that's one. That one down.
Pulp Fiction, I think, is one of the greats. Martin Scorsese's Raging Bull, and Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver, I think, is right there in the top 10, top 15. Christopher Nolan's Memento, I think to this day that's his best film he's ever made. Yeah, man. So it's a lot, you know.
When I think of like greatest of all time, the first thing that comes to mind is The Dark Knight. Actually,
The Dark Knight. Yeah. Oh shit.
Because like for me, like it was like the come to Jesus moment where it's like comic book movies are like can be like Academy Award winning movies, and not to mention like for me like it was a great balance of just like popcorn fare, like a blockbuster for like the masses, but also like thinking man's kind of movie and very methodical and like very much a character study for both the Joker and the Batman, actually, both of them. So I think that's why I would say like I have like this as like an echelon, like a gold standard, where it's like whenever a movie wants to claim like the title of the best comic book movie of all time, it's got to compete with The Dark Knight.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I think The Dark Knight is the best nerd for the nerds out there. All us nerds that love, like the action comic book movies. I think The Dark Knight, reigns supreme for sure. Like, so, and it's crazy because in this world we live in today with comic book movies everywhere, like, still The Dark Knight I think is looked at by most as still the best comic book movie ever, and that's very hard to do when literally, because remember The Dark Knight came out before this big era of comic book movies everywhere.
The same summer as Iron Man 1.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that it came out before all of this, just everybody greenlighting comic book movies everywhere. It came out before that, way before that. It still to this day is looked at as the best comic book movie ever by most. So that's pretty impressive.
Other movies that come to mind is Jurassic Park 1, The Matrix 1. I think, I watched The Matrix 1 recently in like IMAX when they did the re-release or whatever. I think I said that before on a previous podcast. But The Matrix 1 has a lot of philosophy buried within the movie. Like, real talk, I've seen like a philosophy breakdown on The Matrix 1, and when I rewatched The Matrix 1, I was able to pick up on like a lot of those, like philosophers will have a field day, like being able to do lectures with it, you know what I mean? So I say The Matrix 1 comes to mind, and then what else? Like, this is not, I'm not going to say this is like a GOAT, I would say, but one of my favorite movies of all time is obviously going to be The Lion King. I did a Sharing the Love for it as well. Like, but yeah, so like, I don't know, like it's really weird. Like when I try to think about this, like I don't know how to do a ranking. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how to what comes to mind. Like I feel like I forget.
Well, see, my thing is like with something like the best movies of all time. What helps me out with this is because I'm not thinking of my favorite movies of all time. I'm thinking about the best. One of the things I know how to do that a lot of people don't is they don't know how to separate the differences of your personal favorite. Like for instance, it's a lot of stuff where I feel like, well, this is clearly better than this, but I like it better. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like all these lists I've named, other than maybe Pulp Fiction, probably wouldn't be in my what I personally like the best. But just in terms of me saying, no, this is the best. You see what I mean? So, like, for me, I was just thinking of, like, okay, what is actually that I think is the best?
Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back is a damn great movie. You know what I mean? But, so, like, a lot of these movies, There Will Be Blood comes to my mind. Like, that's an all-time great movie.
Drink your shake.
I'll drink your milkshake. Yeah, so, like, all the, so, yeah, man, it's been a lot. It's been a lot of movies over the years. I think, Matrix...
But Matrix 1.
Well, that's my thing. That's what I'm about to say. If Matrix came out and they never did any sequels, I'll have it in like the top 5. But it's almost like the sequels devalue the fucking first one. It really does, because it's one of those movies where it goes like the sequels line up right with it. It's not like a sequel that don't have nothing to do with the first one, you know what I mean? And it almost messes up the first one. Like it doesn't make it a bad movie. Like once a movie's great, it's great. Yeah. But it almost stops it from the glory that it would have been. Like if it was just.
I hope the Matrix 4, which I have very little faith that the Matrix 4 can make Matrix 2 and 3 better.
Better, yeah.
I don't think you can do that, but
I think the Matrix 4 gonna kind of try to delete some shit in some way. But but them the movies that stand out to me though as the best. You know what I mean? Modern day. Boyhood. That's another one that stands out. Boyhood. Was revolutionary. That actually is an example of revolutionary content. Like it goes under content because he, ages over the year. Like they actually filmed him aging over the years,
I was gonna say it for him, but
that's content because he's like there's nothing. If you watch that movie, there's nothing flashy. Yeah. It's just a kid aging over the years.
Yeah, you're right. The way it's shot very straightforward.
Yeah, it's straightforward. There's nothing flashy about it, but he's growing up, and that makes it a damn all-time great movie. You know, because that's never been done before, and never. That's something which is rare. It's never been done before. And it's probably never going to happen again. Most shit that's revolutionary, it starts this like thing where everyone copies it. Like, you know, but because of how long that took and how much money that takes and how much consistency that takes, no one will never film someone growing up over a 15, 20-year span ever again. Like, so that was not only revolutionary from like not happening before, but revolutionary going forward. So Boyhood, I got to throw that in there. And man, with this subject, I go on for a long ass time. You know what I mean? Because I love so many. Roma. I think Roma is the new modern day masterful masterpiece. I
was pretty bored with Roma, to tell you the truth.
Well, of course, because it's content. Like, but there's a lot of form. But like that's one of those very you know with Roma, I gotta admit, like you have to know what you're watching with Roma. Like you have to be able to pick up on the brilliant cinematography. You got to be able to pick up on the brilliant character moments.
Use of shadows too.
The use of shadows, the use of, just everything. The movie is literally perfect. Like you watch that movie and you know what I mean? So it's one of them very, like art house film movies, but it's one of the great movies of this era. So yeah, man, it's a lot of them for sure.
All right, cool. I can't think of anything else, so I just wanted to say we needed to have covered it at some point in this podcast, so I'm glad we were able to
absolutely
squeeze it in.
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm gonna just go ahead and take a quick stand up here. I'm wearing my Netflix and chill shirt. So I figured we're gonna do Netflix and chill one last time.
That's perfect shirt. Yeah, that's a perfect shirt for us.
Yeah, I think I wore this shirt on the very first episode that we went to video.
Oh damn, that's crazy.
So I don't know. Anyways, Netflix and chill is normally with the time where we give the charts, but this time around, since it's the last episode, we're not doing charts. Instead, we're gonna do the thing where we share a recommendation for what you can watch on Netflix. But before we do that, I have Troy. I have a question to ask you. How many weeks in a row did Cocomelon show up on our Netflix and chill charts?
16 weeks.
16 weeks.
Yeah.
All right. So that's your pick. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and reveal the answer here. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Before we reveal the answer, the very first line says here that Cocomelon was on the very first episode of this podcast, episode 1.
What?
Cocomelon was in the top 10. I went back and looked.
Dang. That's legendary. That's a whole year almost of being in the top 10 of Netflix. Wow.
So you want to revise your thing?
Yeah.
All right. You said 16 first, right?
Yeah.
What's your new...
How many weeks in a year? Fuck it.
Well, right now we've been doing one episode per week, and we are on episode 43. So somewhere between 16 and 43 in a row. What do you think?
I'd say 40.
40? You're gonna go with 40. Okay. So the actual answer is 29.
Oh shit.
So it was on the very first episode of the charts, but it dropped out at episode 2, and it dropped out at episode 3. It wasn't in it. It kept entering the top 10.
Leaving and
coming
leaving
back.
and coming back. That fucked me up.
It left and come back constantly until finally, on episode 14 of this podcast, it came back and it stayed. Now,
oh shit!
I am going to also caveat this. It did leave for 1 week in that time, but I don't count it because 5 Twilight movies got dumped onto Netflix at one time. Oh shit! And so that's why it bumped it out.
That was some fuck shit.
That was 5 movies.
Yeah. And then it came right back.
After Twilight, after the Twilight thing, like the fanfare ended of Twilight, it came right back and stayed put. So I'm gonna go ahead and count that as a W for Cocomelon. Yeah. And so. From episode 14 to now, it would be 29 weeks in a row.
Wow.
29 weeks of Cocomelon.
I mean, it's this video that I wanted to send you, but it's like, I learned why that shit stays open so long. And I actually watched some episodes of Cocomelon a long ass time ago. I really did. But I realized why, because like literally it's this like little meme that's going on that everyone's doing where they start playing the intro to Cocomelon, and then you see the little kid, literally like little babies running out, because they just like tricking them, making them think that the show coming on, and the little baby come out. And it's literally like, that's why that show's #1, because to a kid, they can watch the same thing over and over and over and over, and so like everyone's just playing the little intro, and then they can't. It's one where someone's counting. It's so funny. They play the Cocomelon intro, and they go 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you see the little baby run out like coming around the corner and shit. So like it's like, oh, that's why.
I've seen a version of that meme where they did like the NFL. Like
To see the dads or the husband.
And then the husband's running like, what?
Yeah.
Like, cause like it makes it sound like it was playing the
intro to the NFL.
Yeah. So it's like that iconic intro. Yeah. And then they're like, what the fuck? And they get mad and shit, and they walk out there.
Now they're doing it with Cocomelon.
I think they did that with women too. I forgot what they did with them, but like they did one. So everyone's got their they're like trick them, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
So my recommendation for the week, for the final time, I'm gonna do one. I said last week that it was gonna be my last recommendation, but I lied. I'm gonna do another recommendation. My recommendation is on Netflix. You can watch it, and it's a very low key recommendation because I actually kind of don't know if I should recommend it. Number one, I've only seen it back in the day, back in the 90s, so I don't know if it actually holds up. I don't know if it sucks anymore, like, you know, but comparatively to this day, modern standards. Yeah. So, but I'm still going to recommend it because it has such a special place in my heart. It is called Tommy Boy. It stars Chris Farley and David Spade, and it's about, like, Chris Farley is like the son of a businessman, and he's got to take this trip across the country to do something, and it's got like Rob Lowe in it. He's like the villain and stuff, and it's like what do you call it? He's like Chris Farley plays a bit of a loser. Like he's like an underdog kind of character. Yeah. Very endearing. It's kind of like funny and like I don't know if it's offensive by today's standards because again I don't remember any of the jokes. I very loosely remember the plot. I remember like specific scenes more than the actual plot of the movie. Yeah. So, but yeah, my low key recommendation is Tommy Boy. Check it out. It's on Netflix. R.I.P. to Chris Farley. So,
yeah, R.I.P.
Yeah. So, Troy, what's your recommendation?
My recommendation is Squid Games. It's very popular, and I haven't finished it, but from what I've seen, and anybody that knows me, they know I'm not a show guy. I'm not like a lot of people be like, "Hey, did you see the series on so and so?" I'm like, "No, I don't. I'm a movie guy. Like from time to time, I will watch a show." And I ended up watching this show because I was with a girl and we ended up watching it and I was like, whatever. And it's very good. Yes. It's very clever. And it's very like, have you like your heart pumping. You know what I mean? You like, fuck.
Content.
Yeah.
I would say it finished.
Yeah. But I mean, it's different because content and form is different when it comes to television shows because you got more time to do whatever. Yeah. But it's one I would recommend, and I think it's one of the most, if not the most successful Netflix show ever. Yeah. So
we did a spoiler cast when you were gone, by the way. So check it's on this very audio feed. It's on this YouTube channel. So
definitely check it out.
Yeah. So with that out of the way, we're actually pretty good on time. We're gonna end well before the 2-hour mark. So I think there's only 2 more segments left, and Troy, these last 2 segments are going to belong to you, so I'm not going to be talking much. So we're going to go ahead and do the new releases. You know what? I'll just actually play that. Since I didn't been playing the sound effects, I'll go ahead and play the new releases sound effect.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Yep. So this is the last time. Last episode I did the final new releases. This time around, I want you to read the new releases, and here's why. You've never done it. You've never had a time to host anything. And I'm not even gonna give you the full like new releases. This is actually I cherry picked picks of the weeks for the next 3 weeks. So just so that way you get to read the blurbs and read the synopsis and stuff like that. You down?
No.
Come on, man, you got this.
Nah, I'm not down. Cause if I would have been down, but I'm on the spot and I'm very nervous on the spot. Sorry, guys.
You
I
can-
know
you-
y'all wanted to hear me, but no, I'm sorry. Nah, Louis.
Come on, man. You can read these. Just say it's like a little sentence here and there. You know. Just
Hey, listen. I'd rather you knock it out, and because you do it way better than me. So I don't want to be reading the releases for 5 minutes.
Oh, come on. All right,
Yeah.
fine. Fuck it. All right. So these are not the comprehensive list of new releases. These are just 2 things that I picked just because they're big releases. That's all. So for November 5th, we got Marvel's Eternals. It's coming out this Friday. The Eternals, a race of immortal beings with superhuman powers who have secretly lived on Earth for thousands of years, reunite to battle with the evil deviants.
Look how he read that. Now, y'all want me to be in there? The Eternals, a race of immoral beings with superhuman powers. No, like, we need
You
a
make-
professionally person.
You made me think that you're not going to be out here stuttering and shit like
The
that.
host, I was shit. That's how you see how you see how I read that compared to how you read that. No, hell no. You the host. You gotta host this bitch to the end, to the finish line, man. Shit.
All right, the film stars Gemma Chan, Richard Madden, Kumail Nanjiani, Leah McHugh, Brian Tyree Henry, Lauren Ridloff, Barry Keoghan, Don Lee, Harish Patel, Kit Harington, hey, Jon Snow, Selma Hayek, and Angelina Jolie.
Hey, that cast is actually fired in a bitch. Salma Hayek and Angelina Jolie in that bitch.
You know what's kind of funny is Richard Madden played Robb Stark in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have a reunion
Yeah.
between Kit Harington and Richard Madden.
Yeah, that's dope. That's crazy.
Because they never shared a scene with each other. They shared a scene with each other in season 1, and then they were like, until we meet again. And they never met again.
Yeah, well, we'll meet again in Eternals.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
dope.
All right. And so, and the following week is November 12th, I believe. November 12th, Belfast comes out. I did not pick the synopsis for Belfast because it's a black and white art house movie. It's a black and white film. It's art house. It's not a blockbuster.
So wait, my thing is, what was the one you just said?
What?
The one you just said.
Belfast.
Belfast. Okay, and that's releasing November 5th?
November 12th.
12th. So wait, is Eternals releasing by itself?
Pretty much. I mean, like, I think there's other movies coming out that day, but like, they're not
Don't
like,
give a fuck.
they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So Belfast has got November 12th to itself. I think that was the big movie of that weekend.
Yeah.
Because Ghostbusters Afterlife, which is the blurb I picked up, Ghostbusters Afterlife was supposed to come out November 12th, but then they delayed it a week. So
Okay.
I think it's for like IMAX to have IMAX.
Oh, okay, bet.
To have IMAX screens.
Yeah.
So skipping November 12th because I don't think you guys care about Belfast. We're gonna go to November 19th, which comes out the week after this podcast comes up. November 19th, Ghostbusters Afterlife in theaters. When a single mother and her 2 children move to a new town, they soon discover that they have a connection to the original Ghostbusters and their grandfather's secret legacy. The film stars McKenna Grace, Finn Wolfhard, Carrie Coon, Paul Rudd, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Sigourney Weaver.
I'm actually excited about this Ghostbusters, man. Like, the trailer looks, one thing I like about the trailer is that it looks that it's trying to be different. Like, it's not trying to, like, relive the classic one, but it's not trying to be, like, overly different like the last Ghostbusters. And, so I'm actually kind of excited for this Ghostbusters.
Cool. Yeah, so those are going to be the picks of the weeks for those respective weeks here. So I wanted to give Troy the only chance he has to read the synopsis, but it's all right. It's okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and play this last sound effect for the last time.
Hey, wait, well, what's your pick of the week?
They're both pick of the weeks.
Yeah, but I mean, us combining these last 3 weeks.
Between the two, I'm more excited for Eternals.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the last segment. So Sharing the Love is the segment where we talk about a movie that we watched in our past, that we grew up with, and how it kind of impacted made on our lives. And Troy, before I kick it off to you, I just got to say that the 3 Sharing the Loves that I did in the past in this podcast run, I did Sharing the Love for The Lion King, Dumb and Dumber, and Pokemon the first movie. Yep. Those were my 3 best Sharing the Loves that I've ever done.
Yeah.
And I hope that you can bring something at that level. And
that was hard.
I just wanted to say that I really enjoyed the segment. I hate the fact that we always had to cut it for time, but You know, it is what it is. So Troy, take it away.
It's
What
funny
you got?
how this one is my favorite segment, and this the one we always cut for time, and then the other one is my mine. You know, mine isn't gonna be as like, but it's for me. I want to talk about it because it's one of the movies that I feel like don't get enough love, especially because of a movie we just talked about a lot about.
Okay.
And it came out like after it, so it just didn't get the same love. And everybody know I'm the biggest Batman fan
All right.
in the world, number one. And
He's a strategist.
the strategist. Yeah, go back, check that out. The Dark Knight Rises.
Really? You want to give a sharing the love to The Dark Knight Rises?
Yes, because The Dark Knight Rises is my second favorite Batman movie of all time.
I guess The Dark Knight is number one.
The Dark Knight clearly number one.
Yeah.
But The Dark Knight Rises, and see, that's the very reason why I wanted to talk about it, because you see how you really to that?
Yeah. Batman, I think Dark Knight, Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises.
See, and that's why I just disagree with that. Like, and that's why I want to talk about this, because so much, like, The Dark Knight Rises is so good. But I think what hurt it is it came out. Batman Begins got the luxury of coming out before The Dark Knight. You see what I'm saying? And The Dark Knight Rises had to come out after.
Let's not stand on pleasantries, Mr. Wayne.
And I love Bane's voice. And like, look, here's the thing. Like, this movie had, and one thing I will say this is where it gets controversial, right? The Dark Knight Rises had the better third act to me than The Dark Knight. When, you know, like
You can't put Batman in daylight.
Hell yeah, that's what was so great about it.
He looks weird in daylight.
No, he looks dope because it's in the snow. It's badass. Like, to me, they put him in daylight because it kind of showed, like, all right, this is the end. Like, Batman, you know, he's out of the shadow. It was more of a metaphorical theme. It was like the theme of it was like he's out of the shadows and he could save Gotham in the night and in the day. You know what I mean? So, you know, and I think the contrast with the snow made it badass. You notice, like, any time Batman on screen has ever been in day has been in snow with the movies. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know
Even
what I'm
in
saying?
the animated shit too.
Yeah, right. So it's like snow, it contrasts well with the black, you know what I mean? But him in the sun, maybe that'll look stupid. But with the snow, it was something that was still dark and greeny about the snow, like at the end of it. But I always felt like The Dark Knight was clearly better than The Rises. But the third act of The Dark Knight Rises, to me, it's better to me. Like, they go to fucking war. Batman got to get his rematch on Bane. Bane, the twist happened. You find out that old girl is Talia al Ghul. That you got the heartwarming ending where Batman saved the city. Gordon, you know, he tells Gordon, like,
They foreshadowed the ending, by the way.
What?
They foreshadowed the ending when, like, he's like, I want to see you at a dinner having... You know, and just glancing at me.
Oh yeah. And it was so, and that was such a great ending where he like, and then like he didn't, you know, the fact that he didn't say nothing to Alfred, he just gave him a look, and then, oh my God, like the ending to Rises, man, it is so fucking good. And I truly love that movie. Like, and it pains me. Like, at one hand,
shout out to the scene where he has to realize he has to take the rope off his waist.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and he has to make that jump.
Fuck, man. Like, that scene was so legendary because at that point, like, you know, it was the lead up to that where it was like, if you're not scared of death, how are you gonna be able to run faster than you ever done, jump as far as you ever done if you're not afraid of death? You know, that old dude was telling Bruce that, you know, and Bruce finally got afraid that, like, oh shit, you know, if I don't make this jump, I can't save the city. I can't do anything. So, you know, he took the rope off and, like, was genuinely afraid for the first time in the whole trilogy. You know, he was actually afraid, and that's why he was able to make that jump across. And it was like, and everybody cheered it on. Oh my God. Like, I don't know what it is, but Rises do not get the respect that it deserves. I kind of think it's because Batman ain't in it as much. Like, Batman is like, he's in it, like, at the end and at the middle.
It's a lot more Bruce Wayne than Batman.
Yeah, it's more Bruce Wayne. I think that might be, but as me being the critic that I am, I look at movies for the, you know, just the storytelling and stuff like that. So for me, like, it touched me more emotionally than The Dark Knight did at the end. Even though I love The Dark Knight ending with the, the boats and they, and him having to take out the hostages and shit, it was fantastic. But to me, Rises was just way better, when at the end, like, hold on, I ain't gonna go that fucking far. Like, shit. But it is something that hurts me how we was just talking about how, like, The Dark Knight is still looked at by most as the best comic book. It's like the Michael Jordan of comic book movies. It's
and then
Rises
the LeBron James.
Exactly. Like, the Rises is kind of just thrown off into the forgotten world. And I'm like, it deserves more credit. Bane is still, regardless of the voice, still one of the best villains ever to be on screen.
You haven't suffered enough, Mr. Wayne. And only then you have my permission to
die. Yeah, like, oh, God. And the lines in the dialogue with the first fight scene literally made that fight scene so fucking good. Like,
the breaking the bat.
Oh, yeah, when he did just like the comics, like, broke them. Like, oh, my God. So, for me, it may seem underwhelming of a sharing the love to y'all, but for me, I felt like I cannot let this podcast end without me giving the proper love to The Dark Knight Rises that I feel like it deserves. And to me, if it came out like before The Dark Knight, even though that don't make sense from the story standpoint, but if that movie came out before The Dark Knight, I feel like it would have got way more credit. But it's just an expectation you cannot impossibly live up to after The Dark Knight.
True.
So it kind of got thrown under the radar. But I challenge everyone to rewatch The Dark Knight Rises, and you will remember how good it was after all these years. So that was my sharing of love.
Damn, dope. All right, I think the Dark Knight trilogy is on HBO Max. So if you're gonna watch it, there it is. You can watch it on HBO Max.
It still did $1 billion though.
Yep. All right. So that's it.
You ain't doing no sharing the love?
No.
Damn.
We usually do one at a time. I wasn't planning on. I didn't come prepared with one, anyways. But I just kind of wanted to just let you shine. I wanted you to shine in the last two segments. You know what I mean? Like
already.
So for you video watchers, this is a video watcher exclusive. I don't want to get copyright claimed, but I'm gonna go ahead and sing us out. It was like, and now the end is near.
Yeah.
And so I face
the classic,
the final curtain, which is actually the name of this episode. Episode number 43, the final curtain.
Hey, that's dope.
Yeah. So it is time to end.
But I gotta say this before this is over.
All right.
I definitely enjoyed doing this podcast with you, Lewis. It was fun. Talking movies is the greatest, and trust me, we definitely gonna work again. We worked a lot in the past. Before this podcast, we did collaborations. We're gonna do it in the future. So this ain't like the end of just us collaborating, talking about movies and shit. So just let know that, hey, we had a good time.
That's true. I'm gonna go ahead and let's see here. What can I do here? Let me do this. Let me put us. Like,
you say, fuck, I'm gonna put me in the bed.
All right, here we go. Boom. All right, let's do this here. Boom.
Hey.
All right, so it's time to end. Thank you so much for joining us for the podcast run, and for everyone that listened, for everyone that watched. And you can follow me on Twitter at Chocolaka88. Anytime I do an article for Level 1 Gaming, if I write something, I'll post it there. Anytime I ever do a podcast for like Ready Press Play, I post it there. If I do anything on YouTube, I post it there. You can follow me. I might be coming back for another podcast at Level 1 Gaming. Hopefully, I get the gig. And Troy has a YouTube channel. You can follow Troy at BracyTroy58.
Yep.
And you can follow anytime he does a movie review or what is it called?
We got a lot coming. We got a lot of content coming on my channel. So be on the lookout.
The word? Fuck.
Bracy.
No, Troy. What is it called? Love the movie Troy.
Love the movie Troy. Damn, shit. I couldn't even think of my own shit. Yeah, be looking out for the movies on Love the Movie Troy. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, thank you so much, and I appreciate everyone that came through, and I just got to say before we sign out, Troy, you know, When friends say, let's start a podcast,
Yeah.
now you know
Yeah.
how much work it takes
Yeah.
to do a podcast.
It's a lot. Yeah. For
So
sure.
I hope you can appreciate that.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and...
Already.
That's it. All right. Peace, y'all.